All the greatest rappers ever have gotten in beefs.
Drake and J. Cole are much better than Future and Kendrick put together.
You can't be the greatest of all time. You can't be number one when you drop a project twice a decade.
Swimming Pools is Kendrick's best song.
Could you imagine Future and Drake rapping about your girl? Like, she's just for the streets.
I'm convinced Future and Drake are coming out. What a time to be alive, too. I'm convinced.
OVO 40 is better than Metro Boomin.
Welcome to The Real Oshow. I'm Zachary.
And I'm Joshua, and we're brothers chasing the curiosity of our life.
And on this show, we'll deep dive the most influential people, music, and topics going on in the world.
And today, we're talking Future, Metro Boomin, and Drake.
I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs and we on rough for break.
What was your first thought about the album We Don't Trust You, Metro Boomin, Future?
My first thought, I listened to it once all the way through. Honestly, it's probably one of my least favorite Future projects of all time. And I'm not even like, I'm like being like more so a realist, and it continues to go back to the point I've made for years, and you can back it up to me, is that these producer albums, they do nothing for me. They do nothing for me. I feel like there's no real feel to the project because it's a producer that's really driving the boat. Now, I think someone who did it really well was Cole Bennett, where he was trying to go after this like nostalgic feel. Metro Boomin, I have no idea the direction he was trying to go besides taking shots at Drake.
It was a hate album.
It was a hate, and you could see it. Jealousy is a strong drug.
Yeah, it's very strong. I mean, listen, first initial thought, I didn't really care for it that much, but that doesn't say a lot because I think of some of my greatest albums I've ever liked off the first couple listens. They kind of went over my head. Even I go as far back as when we reviewed the Kid Laroi album, and I said I didn't care for it, and then as soon as I started listening to it after, I was kind of like, oh, I actually do like this.
But my point is Kid Laroi is making deeper music than Future is.
Future is a hit maker.
Yes.
And there's no doubt about that. There was a lot of Drake hate.
Yeah.
You know, they're calling it the Civil War of rap, which it really could be, honestly, at this point. It is kind of dividing the rap game. Metro and Future are really, like, as a group, trying to, like, throw a lot of hate at Drake. But I think Drake is too big for it. Like, I think of all the beefs that Drake's been with, Meek Mill, Pusha T, and it's like all the greatest rappers ever have gotten in beefs, and that makes sense. Like, and maybe that's why, like, Kendrick is going at Drake, because if you think about it, like, Kendrick's never really been in any beef. And I think that who better to go at than J. Cole and Drake? And same with J. Cole. I think that J. Cole hasn't really gotten any beef with anybody. And if you look at it, name the greatest rappers ever. They've all gotten in beef.
Well, of course, the best rappers get attacked. And Kendrick and Drake have been going back and forth for decades. Like, you can look at songs that have been going back and forth.
But Drake put K-Dot on.
Listen,
not to say that Kendrick wouldn't have been big, and maybe Drake just kind of caught it and was like, oh, I know how to put it on. But, like, you look at Drake's, this had to have been like 2012, 2013. And Drake had him on tour, and his openers were Kendrick Lamar and A$AP Rocky. That is absurd. That's absurd. And I mean, and now you look at them, A$AP Rocky and Kendrick both hate him, but it's easy to hate Drake. Everyone likes Drake. And the thing about me that I think is out of pocket for Kendrick is Kendrick's coming out of a place of hate, Future coming out of a place of hate, Metro coming out of a place of hate, but Drake is just in it right now. He's dropped a ton of projects. He's going back-to-back tours. He's doing all these things where he has all this motion. He has more money than all of them. It's jealousy. It's purely jealousy. That's all it is.
You go after somebody to sell a project.
Yeah.
Now, let's be real. Future, Kendrick going after J. Cole and Drake is getting a lot of clicks on social media.
100%.
It's going to help sell the We Don't Trust You project because people are going to continue to listen to it. And there's obviously a ton of Drake haters out there. But the problem is, this is what I was thinking about when I was first listening to it. People say they don't like Drake, but still listen to Drake low key, or he'll drop a hit and be like, all right, I must admit, like, I have to listen to that. The problem is I don't know anybody who says they don't like Kendrick Lamar and still listen to Kendrick Lamar. Like, Drake is so much bigger and better than all of them. It's unbelievable. And then I'm going to say this, because we'll probably get into it with the Civil War. Drake and J. Cole are much better than Future and Kendrick put together. Like, if you're going to go battling back and forth, like, the duo I'm taking is Drake and J. Cole over Future and Kendrick.
100%.
Kendrick drops music every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. And that's the
He's
difference.
not perfecting his craft.
And
He
that's
is
the
dropping 4 to 5 years, and because he has that name and he has a whole West Coast behind him, he sells.
It's just like a hunger thing.
His best projects are 15 fucking years ago. Drake has 5 projects in the last couple years that is selling better than 98% of Kendrick's shit.
Yeah.
Of his catalog.
That's where
Swimming Pools is Kendrick's best song.
Listen. I don't know if that's the case, but here's my thing. Kendrick is coming out of a place of like he's not even putting out content. Like you can't be the greatest of all time. You can't be number one when you drop a project twice a decade. Like that's fucking ridiculous. You need to be giving your fans like if you're not that passionate, like I just saw a thing about Big Sean. Like Big Sean took a thing at the Big Three, like saying like he should have been in it, but he's just not hungry enough, which Big Sean is nowhere near those guys. Now shout out to Big Sean. He's a Detroit guy. And I love Big Sean's early work, but he said it best. Like I didn't have the hunger to keep going after it. And it's like people hate on Drake because he has the hunger to keep going after it. And that's a rare thing. Like it's easy to get a bunch of money and then be easy with it. And I'm not saying Future, because Future actually drops a lot of music. And that's what I was going to say. I want to kind of spin zone this because like the We Don't Trust You album, and this is why I think it could be a better album off the second, third, fourth, fifth listen, because he's about to do a back-to-back album with Metro. So he's about to do the thing. And he did that same thing with Future and Hendrix or what, I forget. I think that's the other one.
It was Hendrix and
I forget the other.
What was it? It was like Draco.
Yeah. I forget
what that has Draco.
It's the back-to-back album. Those were like my favorite Future projects that he's ever did. So it's like this could revolve into that. But like off the first listen, like Hendrix, great album. Like I don't know. To me, this just seemed like a lot of hate. And like I don't think Future's like a hate. Like he's not good in the hate realm. Like I like toxic Future. Now, if this is over a girl, that's baffling to me, especially over a stripper, dog. I heard it's over like people on Twitter, and obviously it's just people on Twitter, so it's like, what is it worth? But they're saying like it's over this stripper, and it's like she apparently has like a man, like she has a boyfriend, which is like, damn, think about that, dude. Could you imagine Future and Drake rapping about your girl? Like she's just for the streets.
There's way too many girls in the world and way too many hot girls to be beefing over one girl.
But like, why would a guy like Drake or Future beef over a stripper or an OnlyFans girl? Like, bro, you can get any girl in the world. You're worried about that girl? It just makes no sense to me. I can't relate.
It's mind-boggling. But I will say that it's just I didn't expect Future to take a charge at Drake. And maybe it comes out of like this different scenario because I really like Future. Like I've been on Future for fucking decades when he was like straight mumble rap. For sure. When I was listening to him and people were like, why the fuck are you listening to
I
this?
remember that. And listen, I think that listen, we're kind of looking at it like Drake, like Future and Metro are kind of coming at Drake. But when you kind of like peel back the layers, it kind of looks like Drake is coming at Future a little bit.
And listen, that could be true.
So I don't know.
You just never know what's like brewing under the surface a little bit.
For
sure.
And
my thing is, it's like
Future was definitely mad about 21 Savage. There could also be a girl thing. There could also be other things, but like Metro has convinced Rick Ross to unfollow Drake. He's convinced Nav to unfollow Drake. It's like people have to pick a side in a sense of like who cares?
Here's my thing about it, because I was kind of listening to that and I knew you were going to bring that up. My thing is Nav and Rick Ross need Metro Boomin probably more than Drake, because Metro Boomin can help make them projects to be big and like they can have their name attached to it.
But Rick Ross is already a producer. Like Rick Ross is a producer. Like the reason why Rick Ross has so much money is because he just owns a bunch of rappers.
Yeah.
He owns Meek Mill. He owns all these people. Like that's why he could have been, basically. In a sense, he probably pays his rappers better. But like it's like Ross, I mean, like he owns Wingstop,
Yeah, listen, Rick Ross is a great businessman, but if I went to New York City right now and said, name 5 Rick Ross songs to random people on the streets, 98% would not be able to do it. Maybe 99.9%.
All of Rick Ross's best songs have Drake as a feature.
Drake doesn't need anybody, whereas those artists need help. Future doesn't need anybody. I will be the first one to say that. Future doesn't need anybody, and I think that's why this is so prevalent in getting a ton of clicks on social media, and everybody wants to know what's going on. It's because Future is a top 5 streamed artist pretty much by himself. Like, he's never really done these like joint projects and all that. Obviously, he did What a Time to Be Alive with Drake, and people wanted the What a Time to Be Alive 2. Now, Spin Zone again. This might be a What a Time to Be Alive 2 fucking prequel. I have no idea.
The one that confused me was Travis Scott, because like Travis Scott was just on tour with Drake. They were like talking, like not like on tour, but they did shows together.
Just because you're on the project doesn't mean you're picking sides.
No, but it wasn't even that, because to me it was like K-Dot was, or like when they were at Rolling Loud. So they were at Rolling Loud LA, and Travis was trying to get Metro and Future to play some of their like like some of their like chirping tracks. Like he wanted it because he knew it was going to go viral. So to me, and again, it is kind of picking sides, because everyone who's on this project kind of is like, it's kind of a come at
and it could
Drake.
And it could be when Drake said on his first tour with 21 Savage, one, I think the 21 Savage thing ruffled a lot of feathers. 1, 2, I also think Drake dropping fucking 5 projects in 2 years and then being like, I can't be like one of those rappers who drop every 4 years. Like, I just like making music. Took a ton of shots at some of the most streamed artists. Like, once again, that's not a Future. Future's drops a ton of music, is really good. Like, is one of like the guys in rap, like trap rap music. So this is more so not at him, but like at your Travis Scott, at your Kendrick Lamar, at your Playboi Carti, who drop legit once every 4 years. He kind of took a shot at them. They kind of build this. Metro Boomin. What's the beef with Metro Boomin and Drake? What exactly? What happened?
There is a big long story to it. Listen, I'm assuming it's all over music. Like, this could have been like Drake was going to do a project with Metro, but it's like, why would Drake do a project with Metro? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No,
like he doesn't need
Metro Boomin.
No,
he doesn't need it.
But OVO 40 is better than Metro Boomin.
The only people that need Metro Boomin are people that aren't as big as Drake, or don't know how to produce, or don't have somebody who has made him a hit. That's why, like we kind of talked earlier, kind of off camera, about 21 Savage. It's hard for him to pick a side because some of his best songs are with Metro Boomin, but Drake made him relevant.
Yeah,
and better.
Listen, everyone can make the argument that 21 Savage's biggest songs are with Metro, but those songs are a decade old. Like, those have had a decade of plays. When the songs with Drake have a decade of time, we'll see who has the biggest stream.
Yeah, Her Loss is gonna do crazy numbers.
It's gonna do way more. Listen,
years.
Like the Stuntin' on My Ex, like that's gonna have plays forever. But 1-2 good songs, like, I get it. That made you, like, they're both from Atlanta. Like, respect. It's respect. But at the end of the day, like, Drake made 21 Savage, like, right now, American Dream is still the second most streamed album of the year behind Drake's. That's because of Drake. It's not, I mean, it's a great album. I think it's 21's probably his best project he's released solo. But had he not done a collaboration album with Drake, I don't think it's top 2. It's probably, it's probably a top 5 maybe still, but it's not a top 2.
Yeah, I'm convinced Future and Drake are coming out What a Time to Be Alive too.
I mean,
I'm convinced.
I think it wouldn't be that crazy. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like, Drake is going to squash any beef.
Of course.
Drake doesn't give a fuck, bro. And Drake also knows that Future's a hit maker, and Future's Atlanta. And everything in hip-hop kind of springs from Atlanta.
I kind of had this thought earlier where everybody's going after Drake, right? Everybody's kind of hating him. But then I kind of recycled it back, and maybe this is kind of a left field take, but I want to talk about it. Gunna goes to jail, signs a plea deal, gets released. Everybody's calling him a rat, fell off, will never be great again. And then he comes out with an incredible project and has legit the song of 2023, Fuck You Mean.
Yeah.
The thing is getting like 50 million streams a day still.
It's a hit.
And now he's going on tour, and it's like he has shown that he's better than Lil Baby, where everybody thought Lil Baby was the better one, where Lil Baby went on tour and was canceling shows because he couldn't sell tickets.
I think Gunna has more skill than Baby. I think Baby still makes hits, but I think a lot of Baby's hits kind of sound the same, whereas Gunna can be a little more versatile.
I agree. So it's just like, everybody attacks all these people, but if you're getting attacked, you're the best. Everybody wants your spot. Like
for sure.
Like
I mean,
I
think
no
Gunna
one-
was
like,
getting attacked in different ways, but I think the Gunna thing showed that it didn't matter if you're a quote unquote rat, you can still get plays.
Now we have no idea if Gunna's a rat.
No.
'cause
I
we
mean,
didn't
I
read
said
the
I said
pages,
quote
but
unquote. I said
Yeah,
quote
I
unquote
agree.
rat.
a
That's
lot of
the stamp that
a lot
people
of
put on
a
him.
lot of people are taking that stamp,
Yeah.
but aren't reading the actual court filings.
Well,
and
that's
anything.
everything. Everyone's a headline reader. I actually saw this it's a new term when people click on a video and they just read the comments and they see like the first 5 comments. They're like, oh, that's how I should feel about this. That's kind of what it is. It's just like a comment feeler. You know, you just read the first 5 comments, and I've actually felt myself. I've done that a couple times. I'm like, oh, that's kind of and I think like these could just be planted comments.
I got a fight for my bros, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road, about to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on rough for greatness. They pay